All right, guys, this is Frank Miletti here with the newest edition of Talking English. I am here with Dave Bartosiak, the owner of Classic Billiards in Florida. Dave, how you doing, bud?
Good, man. Real fired up today.
Thanks for having us down here.
Yeah.
We are right now in the expansion of Classic Billiards. Classic Billiards is expanding from a, I guess you would say, mid-sized pool room now to going to be a larger size pool room. And behind us, you can see some of the expansion going on. That's going to be the new arena. Dave, walk me through this expansion that you're doing here.
Yeah, so we kind of like are at our seams right now in the current room. So we've got 14 tables over there. 8 of them are 7-footers, 6 of them are 9-footers, and we just need more space. So we got lucky that right next to us in the plaza, space opened up that was almost the same size that we were right now. So we pretty much doubled, which is awesome. And it's allowed us to add some other elements that we really wanted to have. Not just more 7-footers, because we wanted to get at least 12 7-footers so that we could start doing like APA regionals and stuff like that. But I wanted also enough 9-footers so we could have some bigger events, some split bracket events and things like that. And then of course I wanted to have an arena. So
why do you need an arena though?
I don't know why I need it, but yeah. I just thought it'd be cool.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it, I watch SVB versus Federer over at Rail Yard, and I see what Kyle's doing over there, and I got super jealous. And I was like, that looks so cool. I would love to have that here. So the space was enough that we could do it. And we had some really interesting elements that were already here that we didn't even have to fix. This used to be a church, and just kind of funny. We're going from one kind of church to another kind of church, right?
The house of debauchery, right?
Yeah, right? Now it's a house of ill repute. No, it's fine. But there was a stage over here, and they had like a little booth set up where they would have the cameras and stuff. So it just worked out that area was elevated like that. So we just decided to keep that there and said, hey, what if we put an arena right here? So anything I do, obviously I want to be the best or among the best or mentioned in the same breath as some of these legendary rooms that are out there, right? And they're out there, okay? Griff's is out there, Rail Yard's out there, Yale, I mean, we could go on and on. So I always wanted to be mentioned in the same breath as those guys. But the other thing, I kind of had this idea as we started talking with, so one of my good friends over here, Danny, El Real, as he's known, he did a lot with, he's Peruvian, and he does a lot, him and Cristobal do a lot with the players in South America, talking to them and doing, talking to them about, what they're doing professionally and how they're gonna, make it to the next level and things like that. And they don't really get a lot of support down there. So through him, we started talking to like Gerson Martinez and Christopher Tevez and even Jesus Atencio. And we're like, a lot of these pros in the US won't go down to South America to play these guys. I don't know if you remember, Gerson had a match where somebody got assassinated in the room while he was shooting. Yeah. So that's going to turn a lot of people off from going down there. So
I think the only one I've known that really goes down there a lot is Oscar.
Yeah, Oscar does it, but Shane's not going down there, right? So these guys don't get the opportunity to shoot against these guys. So I was like, wait a minute. What if I provided a venue where these guys from South America could come, we could get the guys from the US to come, and they're going to play each other on neutral ground here at Classics, and it'll give the South Americans a great opportunity, and it's also going to give the US guys an opportunity, right? Where it's going to be safe and fun, and we do things a little differently. We're a little rowdy anyway. So it's not hard to get these guys to want to come down to South Florida, in the wintertime, right? When they're freezing their cheeks off somewhere else. So it started to build off of why I wanted the arena, right? It's like, because I want a venue where now we can have sort of a real deal event, not just like be in the corner and it's like, oh yeah, there's, Gerson Martinez playing against, whoever. It's better to have this arena and make it awesome, create like a show.
So I've known you for a little bit now, and I guess the best way I could say this is Classic Billiards is in your face.
Yeah.
It's out there, okay? With vibrant colors, pools, everything about reds and this and that. And here comes Classic Billiards running in with pastel pink and purple and blue and just the whole Miami vibe.
Miami vibe, man.
And best way to say it is you're a character.
Yeah.
And in a good way. When you look at you, we know that when you hang out with Dave, you're going to have a good time.
Yeah.
What is your passion? What fuels you to do all this when it comes to pool?
I think I was thinking about this the other day, to be honest with you, because my father shot pool, my dad, I say father and dad, I have biological father and my stepdad, but I call him dad because he raised me, right?
Okay.
So, but both of them shot pool, and I've always been interested in the game from like a really early age, and I've never been good at it. I'm never going to be good at it, right? But I just love shooting pool. Like I love nothing more than, having a bucket of Corona and shoot pool with some of my buddies for 5 hours, right? Like that's the coolest thing for me. It kind of takes me away. It's a nice stress release. Like I love it. It's great. So when I got into this business, I wanted this place to be that for everybody. And what I started finding out is the more people that came and kind of felt our Classic Billiards vibe, the more it grew. And then I found out that like a lot of us love the game of pool and aren't like really super serious to where, we're gonna be freaking out if we miss a shot or it has to be quiet like a church. Like this isn't a church. It'll never be a church. It's loud, it's rowdy, it's classics, man. Like, so I'm just passionate about that part partially. And then now that I have this opportunity, I think we have this opportunity where we can open the door for literally an entire continent. And I don't want to sound cocky like I'm the one who's opening the door to South America. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is this is a great opportunity, I think, for those guys. So then you start to get this whole other level of reward that you get from this business that you're not going to get from anywhere else, right? It's like, how can I actually give back? Like I do 56-cent wings on Thursday nights. I don't make any money on 56-cent wings. My cook hates me that I do 56-cent wings because she's banged up in there the whole day, right? We sell 800 wings on a Thursday night, okay? People are like, why do you do that? We're in Lauderhill, okay? This isn't Coconut Grove, right? Lauderhill has a reputation for being a tough town. We're in the best part of Lauderhill, for sure, I get that, but still, it's got a reputation for being a tough town. If I can provide something as simple as chicken wings for some of the families around here, or they have a place that they can come that's safe, that they can eat, that they can have a good time, that's a huge reward for me. So it's stuff like that. It's being a part of the community, building something awesome that we can all be proud of around here. That's the kind of stuff that, drives me personally to do it.
So what would you say to somebody who's like a naysayer that would say, well, they're rowdy over there at Classics. How are they going to hold a pro event? Because you do have 2 pro events on the docket for next year.
Yeah, if the pros want it quiet, don't come to my event. It's that simple.
Yeah.
You're not forced to come to this event, right? You got plenty of events on the calendar. You can do whatever you want, okay? If you want it to be quiet as a church, do not come to Classic Billiards. It will never be quiet as a church. Even during the day, it's not quiet here. And at night, it ramps up. I mean, I'm playing Run the Jewels, blasting stuff here, and everybody's having a good time.
I will say last night, because we've been here for a couple of days now, me and my wife Mindy, and Mindy had pointed out to me last night that there were a bunch of older generation people here. When I say older, probably 60 or so, who would probably traditionally not listen to like rap music. And they're in there last night with heads bobbing, playing pool.
Yeah.
And I thought that was, she and I both thought that were pretty cool.
It's a vibe. And I think what you get, and again, it's also where we are geographically, right? Like we're so close to Miami, we're in basically a suburb of Fort Lauderdale, basically. And it's just this vibe that permeates through this whole culture, right? So, and I think there's a lot of these old, ideas that people have of what a 60-year-old looks like, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Or what, like, you're wearing Jordans. I'm wearing Jordan. I'm 42.
44.
Right? Okay. I guess I'm wearing my Dunks today. Sorry.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is like that predetermined thought of what you're supposed to look like when you're in your 40s, or what you're supposed to listen to, or how you're supposed to act is like totally blown out. This is 2025. Like, that culture has expanded now to old guys, right? So maybe those guys listened to this type of music back in the day. They just pretended like they didn't or something.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, they all listened to it. And how do you not like just the vibe?
I got to say that, and unless you've come down and experienced it, the vibe here is a solid vibe. You walk in, it's just everybody's inviting. When I walked in yesterday, you introduced me to 5 or 10 people, and everybody was informative. Some of them had known who BSN was, so they were asking us questions. I felt very welcomed. So, to any of the naysayers, I would definitely say come and give it a try.
Yeah.
So I want to pivot though. You got pro events coming up. What made you want to get into the pro world? Because we're going to talk about your sponsor players here in a minute, but what made you want to really be involved with the pro side of pool? Because if you have this amateur side, essentially, we're going to call it the amateur side, lockdown, where you got your leagues, you got people here chilling, vibing. Now you're going to the pro side. What makes you want to be involved in that?
Because I think it goes hand in hand, and it helps grow the game overall. So if you think about it, like, every baseball team needs a farm system, right? So in pool, in general, you have this broad base of people that want to shoot pool, that want to get better, that want something to be excited about. They want someone to cheer for, right? And they don't even really know who the pros are. Like, they don't. If you went in that room right now, I mean, there's Earl and there's Dennis, right? But I don't think, I would say 90% of the people have no idea who Dennis is.
Who's Earl and Dennis?
Right? So, but as we start to introduce these pros to my people that are here, to the APA, to the amateurs, right? Mm-hmm. They start seeing that, and then now they start to get more involved, and then they start to get more excited, right? It's like, one of my big faults is I am a Chicago Bears fan, okay? And I cry about the Bears all the time, okay? All right, wait, I'm getting there. But I don't really like play football, right? But I have this team that I root for and this idea because I was indoctrinated, when I was a kid, right? So to me, it's like if we start to help these amateur people get involved with the pros and have somebody to cheer for, they're going to start to love the game that much more, and they're going to tell people about it, and then it's going to grow, and there's going to be excitement. So for me, it's like farming this whole emotional connection to something bigger than yourself, right? So that's kind of how I look at it. So that's how I started sort of getting involved, I guess, in the pro side. And the first was Brianna Miller. When Sandy Chang, well, actually, nope, correction, Sandy Chang.
Yep.
Yes, it's Sandy. Because Sandy came to me. But here's the funny part. So Sandy came to me. I got to go to the beginning now. When I took this place over, the previous owner had banned several people. So one of the people that he had banned was on the team with my buddies, and they were like, "Hey man, you got to get him back over here. Like, get him back over here. He's a great guy." So I was like, "All right." So I started bringing him back, convincing him to come back. So he started coming back, and then and that's Sean Blaine. I'm just going to put his name out there. Okay. Thanks, Sean. He introduced me to Sandy, and then Sandy started talking to us, and then she introduced us to Brianna, and then that's how we really started.
That's how you and I met.
Getting into the world, yeah.
Sandy and Brianna are BSN players, and they introduced me to you. Yeah,
that's how this whole thing started.
So that's how your networking goes.
Yeah, and it happened really quickly. I mean, it's September 2025 right now. Like, our first deal with Federer was like November of 24.
So we're going to touch on your sponsor players here in a second, but so this is where I think you and I both see very clear paths, and we agree. I think we agree on these paths. When you first came into pool, right away you jumped into the advertising. You were on our streams right away. You were on other streams. What do you believe the advertising provides for Classic? Because anybody can advertise.
Yeah.
But Classic is advertising everywhere. What do you believe that that's going to help you with?
Well, first is just brand awareness, right? So big picture, I'm here and I'm talking about this arena and having people over here and doing all this. I think it's easier for me to do that when more people know what Classic Billiards is. When it was just a hole in the wall somewhere and nobody's ever heard of us, it's hard for somebody to take that phone call and be like, yeah, sure, I'm coming down to Classics. Like, you have to build a bit of a reputation in order to do that. So the advertising definitely helps us with that. The other part is sometimes I do stuff just because I think it's cool. And I think it's so cool when I'm watching pool or something and the Classic Billiards logo pops up. People lose their mind in here because we'll play it and then, oh my God, it's just Classics. Or like a commercial will run, like they'll go nuts. And so sometimes I do it just for the story, man, because it's cool.
So our first interaction was at the Super Billiards Expo. We did the advertising for you. And then right away, it was like a month later, contacted me and you jumped on board with BSN. And since that ride, I got to know you better as a person. I got to know your lovely wife, Leah. Is this a family business? Because
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, is this something that you plan on for the long haul? Like, are you going to be that old guy, the older generation guy in your 60s, 70s, still in the pool hall vibing in 25 to 30 years?
I hope so.
Yeah.
Like, I tell Leah all the time, this is my retirement plan.
Yeah.
Like, right now, it's my retirement plan. I want to be done with stuff, and then all I'm doing is hanging out at Classic Billiards. Now, is that the Classic Billiards, which is, this one's going to be called the Classic Billiards, right? The first one, this is the Classic Billiards, right? Because there will be more. And so I would love to transition to where all I'm doing is opening Classic Billiards around the country, or going into other pool halls that maybe the guys have had enough and
so
coming in.
So franchising is
that would be nice.
Future.
Or just me opening them and bouncing around the country, opening them up, bringing the vibe, and keeping the game alive, because it couldn't go on the way that it was. It can't be boring. It can't be a library. There are places where they could do that. And listen, not everybody's going to like our style, right? But I'm going to tell you that more people are going to like our style than like that style, because I see it. Which rooms go out of business? The ones that are lames, right? Which rooms stay in business and thrive? The ones that are awesome, the ones that are a party. So that's where I'm at. And I'm going to keep this thing a party. And we're going to introduce the party as many places as I possibly can.
So if you're introducing people, introduce us to Jerry.
The Flamingo?
Who's Jerry?
The Flamingo.
Yeah.
Jerry the Flamingo is our mascot. You know, it's a flamingo with a beer and a pool cue. And sometimes he's got a couple of lady companion flamingos with him, one on each arm. So that's the vibe.
Has Jerry got a high Fargo in partying?
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
He's up there. You know, he's like the Chester Cheetah of flamingos, I guess.
So, sponsored players. Who's on the Classic Billiards roster?
Right now?
Right now.
Of people, okay, so, you know, we're getting towards the end of the year, right? So we're gonna have like official, these are our guys. So, of course, we have Feder. Super proud of that. We got connected with him with Mosconi. And I mean, he's the #1 guy in the game, right? So how do you go wrong? So he's been a good guy to obviously connect with, and we've been rooting him on, you know. So then we have David Al-Qaidi. So we ran into him at the Mosconi Cup this last year. Leah was super enthusiastic because we wanted to. I mean, when we saw Classic on Federer's sleeve, like, we were losing our minds. Like I said, sometimes I do it just because it's cool. But that really got us access to everybody, because we were like at the after party at Mosconi, like hanging out, shaking hands, kissing babies, you know, meeting everybody. So then David Al-Qaidi came on board, And he's been great too, like introducing us to other people, introduced us to FSR, to Honus, like all these guys. It's been amazing. Anyway, so officially David Al-Qaidi. We have Jesus Atencio. Now, we haven't officially done our 2026 paperwork with him, but we've talked about it. You know, we're going to be Team Classics. We got his back. We've had his back over the last few months, and we look to continue to do that. He's been here a couple times already. He loves it. He might want to move to Florida even. Like he's having a great, and I think he's going to have a monster 2026. Monster. Then we have our South American contingent, which is Gerson Martinez, who's a great guy. He came here and did like a 10-ball race against Atencio. He actually smoked him, so we got to do the rematch of that, and that's going to happen there, which would be awesome. Then Christopher Tevez, also known as Dibu. So he's another Peruvian guy who he kind of stepped away from the game a little bit or wasn't taking it as seriously, and now he's like dialed in. So he's going to be going to a bunch of World 9-Ball Tour events this year, and he's in. And Gerson, big time too. So the two of those are kind of, I almost draw like the parallel to like FSR and Al-Qaidi with Gerson and Dibu. Because they like, you know, they'll room together when they go places, like they're always around each other. Like it's a cool, and they can spar, you know, when they're down there in Peru, so it's great. And then just recently, John Mora. So I met John in Orlando, the Florida Open, and we went out to dinner. It was him, Max Eberly, and my buddy Rob Martin, who's opening a place up in Boise. Anyway, so we just vibed. We just vibed, and then we were talking to each other, and then I'm like, you know what, let's like welcome to the Classics roster. So he's going to be around a little bit. I guess Scott Frost officially, even though he like doesn't really compete anymore that often, but he comes and he's done some clinics over here, and we're going to continue that. And we have another one. Well, of course, we're hooked up with you over at BSN, Frank. Of course, there's that, right? Which, you know, you guys are, it's great. Like I said, man, just seeing my logo on there, like I lose my mind sometimes. And then you're doing like the Federer stuff, and then it'll all pop up, and I'm like, oh, what? That's me. That's me. It still feels weird. Like it's still surreal, you know, all of this stuff.
So let's touch on that for a second. You are, essentially, you've assembled a team. Now, you have the ladies also. You have Brianna and Sandy. Is there any other ladies that are coming on?
Brianna and Sandy. We have a couple other ladies that we're talking to.
Okay. So suffice it to say, you have a roster.
We have a roster.
Okay. What would you say to somebody that's saying you're trying to buy your way in the pool?
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
Like, yeah, for sure. You know.
Now, are you trying? Now, this is going to be a serious question. Are you buying yourself onto the cool kids table, or are you just putting what you feel is the capital in billiards to make the game progress more? Because you know there's a difference.
Sure.
Of buying your way to the cool kids table and also really being in the sport.
Sure.
And I know what your answer is going to be, but I want you to tell the people.
Yeah. No, I mean, we're trying to grow the sport. That's what it is. We didn't even know who the cool kids were, really, right? We still kind of know. Do we know? You know, we're so early in this. So you got to pay to play, and sometimes it's tuition, right? So, you know, maybe we sponsor somebody and we go down a certain road and we meet certain people and it works out or it doesn't work out. Like, these aren't lifetime contracts, right? And we just see where it leads. And if I didn't roll the dice, I wouldn't know where it led, right? So, and when it's coming to, I mean, if Gerson and Dibu, like, they're not at the cool kids table, right? We're really trying to help them, you know, get to the next level, trying to give them exposure, trying to bounce around. So,
you want to franchise at some point. How are you going to help other rooms? So do you think that the model of Classic is the model to go with for the future?
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so much of the market, just in general, outside of pool, it's not even the activity bars, right? That's the thing. People are throwing axes. People are doing the golf stuff. What was that? Pop shot, which is like the mini golf. And so there's a whole new genre of this that's being created, right? And pool's always been that genre. They're just not doing it right, okay? Because nobody wants to come in on a date night with their, with their significant other and go into a library where everybody's all serious, because it's really intimidating, right? You don't want it to be intimidating. When you go to a new room, you shouldn't feel intimidated. You should feel welcomed, right? So I think that's where Classics kind of fits in. Now, and then I think you have to have food, because you want people to stick around longer. You want them to hang out, enjoy, and have a good time. You don't want them to just be there for an hour and leave and be like, that place was quiet, it smelled weird, like it's so strange, right?
So you brought a chef in now to do your food.
Yeah.
Tell me about your food.
I had to hunt her down. So I used to go to this place called Wunderbar. It was a German spot over like where I used to live down here. And Leah and I would hang out there maybe once a week or so, or maybe once every 2 weeks. They had like the big giant, liter beers. We might be able to go there. Well, no, we probably don't have time this trip. But while we were going there, we started talking to our bartender, of course, getting to know her. And that was right around the time where we got this place and we needed staff. And she's like, I got you staff. So her daughter is actually Brittany, my assistant manager. And then Jackie, who's our chef now, was working at Wunderbar. At the time, we couldn't afford Jackie. Like, we knew it. Our kitchen is this big, and we were just like trying to make sure that we could make rent here, basically. And then as we started building, it was pretty evident that like, no, dude, I need a real chef. So we were looking really hard, trying to find people, and then out of nowhere, this is like 3 years later, Jackie pops up. And she's like, hey, I'm looking for a job. And we're like, you gotta be kidding me. Can you please come here? Please. Because she used to take care of us. Like the smallest thing, man. Like every time I would go there, she knew I liked the cucumber salad. And she would make me extra cucumber salad and just like drop it on the side for me. It's like little stuff like that. So we knew that's what we wanted here, right? That's the kind of personality that'll fit great at Classic. So she's come in and she's super excited about stuff. She just creates new flavors of stuff. You had the pineapple jerk chicken today.
Amazing.
Yeah. So she just comes up with these flavors. Strawberry Reaper. She entered a chicken wing contest over here in Boca. First time we ever did any contest, first time she ever did any contest, and we won the choice award for our blackberry chipotle mint wings that she made. So it's like, dude, Jackie, you're onto something. And she gets all fired up. She's really passionate about it. So when she's passionate, and we're passionate, that's what creates, the special sauce over here.
So I asked you earlier if this is a family business. I'll ask you again now with your staff. Is this a family business?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Because, what ends up happening is we get into a family that we're friends with, and then we hire 3 or 4 of their family members. So there's like 3 families present, It's like us, it's our GM's family, and our assistant manager's family. And that's like the whole crew here, basically.
So Classic Billiards is a family business.
Yeah,
it's
for sure.
Family. It doesn't have to be blood, but
yeah,
it's family.
Absolutely, it is. And the people, and it's, and our clientele is family,
So behind you there is the start of the arena, and we're going to have commentary, streaming. You're going to have monster matchups. Now, your 2026 schedule, you're signed on again to be a sponsor of the WPBA.
Yeah.
How'd that happen?
I don't know how that happened. It was Brianna's fault. Blame Brianna. Or maybe you. Maybe it was your fault, Frank. It was somebody's fault. I don't know. It was one of those things, opportunity popped up, and Brianna's like, hey, talk to, I think it was Jerry at the time. And we were thinking about it. We're like, this makes a lot of sense. And again, this is a part of the game that maybe needs some love, that's not getting the attention that, the rest of it is. And it's just as important as the men's side of things. Because it's not like, this isn't like an NBA, WNBA situation, right? It's like the level of play there is outstanding. And there's not enough people watch it, basically. So we went to Green Bay for the World 8-Ball Championship. It was just the shots that I witnessed firsthand, and like the precision. Like Cheska and Jasmine in the final was like some of the best pool I've ever seen in my life. So like in the barrier to entry for us, like the cost was so little in the grand scheme of things just to start to get involved that I was like, this is a no-brainer. Let's just do it and see where it goes. And again, that's a theme that pops up with me a lot. It's like, I'm like, I don't know, let's try it. Let's see what happens. Because worst case scenario, I lost that money. It's like, well, then, you know, whatever, it is what it is.
So you have the WPBA Classic Billiards Open in February.
The Players Championship.
Players Championship.
Yeah.
In February.
The Players Championship at the Classic Billiards.
And that's $50,000 added, am I correct?
It is. There's going to be 50 grand added to that.
$50,000 added to a women's event. You don't see that.
You don't.
You very rarely see it in a men's event unless it's a matchroom event or a
Correct.
top pro event. What made you want to put or find the sponsors to help out also, because sometimes it's sponsors too.
Yeah.
What made you want to put on a $50,000 women's event?
A challenge, really. It was like a challenge. We were in Green Bay. I was in the casino, and man, I was hitting everything in that casino, dude. I don't know what it was. Every time and it's not like I was betting like anything intelligent. I wasn't doing like counting cards and blackjack. I was just slapping slot machines and money was just pouring out. So I was all fired up in the casino, and you'll see this sometimes. Like I get hyped, right, and I just start going. They were talking about the event at Classics, and I was like, "What's the biggest? You know, what's the most money they ever had at a WPBA event?" And they were like, "I don't know, maybe like 40 or like 35." I was like, "You know what? I'm doing mine for 50." And that's how it started. And then they're like, "Yeah," and everybody's like, "Woo!" And then I was like, "Oh man, how am I gonna do that?" And I'm like, "Whatever, we'll figure it out, dude. We'll figure it out. You know, let's do it." And then so I'm like, "Yeah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna figure it out and make it happen." And it's happening.
So who do you partner with then? Who meets Dave's level of A, fun, but B, we also know you're a businessman. So, you know, we can't take the fun persona and not realize that you're making money. You're doing well because you know the side of business to make people happy.
Yeah.
Who meets your criteria to partner up with Classic Billiards?
To partner up how?
To be involved with Classic Billiards. So you can go to pool companies and say, "Hey, I just want to buy this, and this," but you also work with companies.
Right.
Okay. They have to meet, obviously, a criteria for you, too, to be involved with.
Yeah, for me, it's like the best. Okay. So this is the Aramith Arena. Because I talked to Ivan and I asked him if it's cool. And he said, yes, of course. And I said, okay, cool. So, all right, now that I got that, I need to order like 15 sets of Aramith Tournament black balls. Sure, here. Because they're the best, right? They're the coolest thing. Man, when I got those balls first, you should have heard the whining in this room from everybody. Oh, the 4 ball's pink. I'm like, that's right. This is home of the pink 4. Get used to it. It's going to be home field advantage now. So just the best. Aramith, the best balls. Simonis, the best cloth, in my opinion. Diamond, the best tables, in my opinion. So I'm just all about finding just the best. And it's all brands that really care about their product and what they're delivering. And ultimately, at the end of the day, I care about our product and what we're delivering.
The quality.
The quality, yeah. Like, I don't want to half-ass anything. But I'm willing to spend a couple extra bucks. You know what I mean? Like, for me, not everything has to be like, oh, I put in X amount of dollars and I get X plus this, right? Like, no. If I'm buying a set of balls, I want the best set of balls, and then I'm going to take care of them, and then we're going to have the best set of balls of anyone around, right? Until they copy me, which they always do, which is fine. But just get the best stuff. So partnering with us, it's all about, for me, like the best in the business, and it's about their integrity of the game, right? Are they doing it just to be rent seekers and pull money out of things? There's some cue makers that are like that, okay? Or do they care, right? Are they picking up the phone when I call? Are they responding to an email when I send an email? It's like that kind of thing. Like, we're all in this together. It doesn't have to be a money grab. Let's build the sport.